welcome to the Jersey City Show. Pat O'Melia here. You were just concerned Jersey City resident there. That's why we do this show. And we do it live on Comcast 190, livestream.com, our base streaming service. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple TV. We're on Google Chromecast. We're on the Roku system. You got Roku? And they're putting that into TVs now, built in. Go to Roku, click on live stream, put in Hudson Media, boom, there we are. Now we got our own website, HMG TV Shows, which is really live stream. We archive everything there, so you can go there, watch the show again, watch our other productions, and if you need to get in touch with me, you can send me an email. Go to contact. You got a problem with Jersey City? You got a problem with county? You got municipal issues? You got consumer issues? We're pretty good at that. That's how we cut our teeth in this city. Got a fairly busy show. Would have been busier had I not deleted all my notes. See, the problem with cut and paste things, or copy and paste, you probably never noticed this, but you got copy, and right above copy is cut. And when I was moving my notes for my show and how we put the notes together here, during the week something strikes me, I'll put it on my cell phone or I'll put it on my bullet notes on the computer, and I'll take it from the cell phone and put it on the bullet notes. And I start building the show that way. I write 3 different shows a week, Jersey City, Hudson County, and a Toms River show. So I'm always putting notes somewhere. Well, today, as I was moving my notes around, I managed to delete like half my show. So we will be sitting on some of the topics for quite a while today because we missed like 3 of them. But that doesn't matter. We got a busy show. We're going to talk about parking in the Heights. The Heights ordinance is going to come up in May. I don't think it will be enacted. We'll get into that. Joan Quigley, if you read the Jersey Journal today, Joan's got a story in there about employees keeping tips from waiters and waitresses. I strongly suggest you read that. I like Joni's stories. We're going to talk about retaining teachers and attracting teachers to New Jersey. We are losing them, and it's pretty interesting how we're losing them since they are pretty much the highest paid. Millionaires tax. Our government, isn't that what everybody does? Everybody's after the millionaires. I'm not a millionaire. I'm like a hundredaire. But yes, I will defend the millionaires today. I will take on that. And we'll talk about Heights parking. We're going to talk about infrastructure here. We're taking notes from Tom's River Show about upgrading our infrastructure. If you've seen President Trump's State of the Union speech last week, I watched it. For a while there, I thought I had a better vocabulary than the president until he used the word reciprocal. And I said, I'm back to the end of the line. But that's all the things we're going to be talking about. We got some graphs we'll be talking about. It's a busy show. We're going to break for commercial, but I want to remind you again. Oh, I forgot the Twitter. JC Hudson Media. You can reach me there. You can reach me at HMG TV Shows. We're live on Comcast 190. We're live on Livestream. And take a moment and download the Livestream app. Because little by little, we're really going into the streaming. You know, we pretty much got our idea where we want to go streaming. So that's going to be our main medium. So download it. It's free. There's a lot on there. Now we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. You're watching the Jersey City Show. Pat O'Melia here, your concerned resident. Listen, if you got questions, you can tweet questions here. You can give us questions via Facebook. You got some concern, you don't like what I said? Send me a message. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll do that for you. Let's start, even though it's the Jersey City Show, I want to talk about attracting and retaining teachers because we have that problem in Jersey City. And what Cory Booker, Senator Booker, is proposing to do on a federal level is to give teachers tax breaks. The reason Cory Booker is saying that we need the tax breaks for these teachers is the high cost of living in New Jersey. We all know that high cost of living in New Jersey. The high cost of living affects everybody in New Jersey, and that's one of the things Governor Murphy has got to get a handle on. It can't keep spiraling up because it is becoming just flat out unaffordable to live in New Jersey now. Now, what Cory Booker is suggesting is giving the teachers tax breaks on their pay, grant monies, student loan credits, and in some cases, student loan forgiveness if they stay within the New Jersey public school system for X amount of years. Jersey teachers are among the most highest paid in the nation, which is good. You know, it's a good, strong union. They keep taking on Sweeney and losing, but it's a good, strong union. The average elementary teacher in New Jersey makes $68,000 a year. That's a fairly good buck. Nationally, it's $55,000 a year. The average New Jersey high school teacher is making $74,000 a year. Nationally, that's $58,000. So yeah, they're among the highest paid, but yet we keep losing teachers, and we're having a problem attracting teachers. Actually, I think as a profession, there's an issue with teaching in general. Not a lot of kids coming out of college and is going into the teaching profession. Nobody's going in to get certified for that. And it is an honorable profession. My daughter, Dr. Gina, PhD, she's a professor. It's an honorable field. Now, my question is it worthier than any other field? Why should we give teachers this benefit? And again, I'm not anti-teacher. I'm pro-teacher. But why do we treat them differently? Why do we treat teachers differently than we would treat a doctor or a cop or a construction worker? We all have the same situation here in New Jersey. We have a high cost of living that continues to go up, and it's, you know, if you listen to things, it's going to get scarier and go higher to the point we may not be able to afford to stay in New Jersey. Yeah, like I said, it's an honorable field, but I think instead of offering the tax breaks and we'll get grant monies and we'll do student loan forgiveness and student loan credits, because I know there's a lot of kids out there, young adults, who would certainly appreciate some student loan forgiveness or student loan credits that'll knock down the debt. Guess that they're not teachers. And again, you know, all these professions that we have in New Jersey, they're all worthy of whatever assistance we can give. But really, if you listen to Cory Booker, Senator Booker, the problem is the cost of living. Everything is so expensive to live in New Jersey. Well, maybe that's what we need to focus on. Can we cut the cost of living instead of these workarounds to retain and attract teachers? How do we get the house in order? It's so damn expensive. We are like the #1 state in every bad category. You know, property tax, #1. We're constantly, if we can find something we're the lowest in, like we did last year with our gas tax, the fuel tax, we found out we were one of the lowest. Not anymore. We have to figure out how we can operate this state and not be #1 in property taxes and in fees and every tax associated. And we're always looking to get another tax out there. I'm going to talk about millionaires tax. It's constantly tax, tax, tax. Somehow we got to figure out how to get the house in order and bring the expenses of New Jersey down. I can't recall the last time somebody actually said, we're going to bring the expenses down. We'll get the house in order. There's always somehow we're going to cap this and we'll limit this, but we never seem to go out and say, we've got to cut the expenses. Or can we increase revenue, but not on the backs of the property owners in New Jersey? You know, you want to increase revenues, you can't jack the property taxes. You can't keep jacking up the fuel taxes or tolls or whatever. Everything is a regressive tax when it keeps going up. We have to figure out other ways. Now, there's some things in the offing if we don't mismanage that. The marijuana tax. You know, there's going to be like 25% on that. And they're talking about boom money coming into New Jersey if we legalize that. There's a lot of pros and cons to legalizing the marijuana. And I'm sure Phil Murphy will do his due diligence to figure out how to work that. Sports gambling, sports betting. That is certainly going to be lucrative if we can get that through. Chances are it'll only be at the racetracks, but that's good for the racetracks because for a while they were a huge revenue source, and that fell off as, you know, taste and other opportunities for discretional cash came about as, you know, we continue to evolve. But what's scary, as we keep getting new revenue streams in, we just keep building up the expenses here. Now, going back with the lottery and Atlantic City and the racetrack and the Meadowlands, how these were supposed to cut property taxes and get the control of the expenses here in New Jersey, and it didn't happen. We managed just to take that money and just keep building the expenses to the point where an AC started going bad. You know, the seniors were getting hurt, the schools were getting hurt because that's where those monies were going. We got to make sure that if these new revenues come in, they go and take the burden off the residents of New Jersey. The other thing this state has to do is figure out how we can cut expenses. Now, Murphy's a pretty smart guy. He didn't get where he is in life making foolish decisions. He's going to have to look at the complete operation of the state of New Jersey, figure out how can we cut expenses here. Now, it just can't keep spiraling up like that. Now, we talk about shared services in Jersey City. Should we do shared service with the county of Hudson or Bayonne? Really, the budget that matches up with us best is the county, you know, for parks and roads. You know, there's a lot of shared services we can do there. Health and Human Services, cultural affairs, a lot of duplication. The state needs to get into that also. You know, I want to talk about Liberty State Park. I'll probably get into that today if it dawns on me later in when we get short on topics. But these are the things we can start partnering up with. State-wise, can partner with the county and the city and start bringing the expenses down that we don't have such duplications of departments and manpower. Because all those duplications you're paying for. So that's how Murphy has got to get a handle on the expense. Get the house in order. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. We're back. Jersey City Show. Pat O'Melia, cold, really dark coffee. Probably should have left the burner on, huh? I drink it. I grew up with bad coffee. Bad cold coffee, that's a big thing now. Iced coffee, been drinking iced coffee for years. When lukewarm coffee gets popular, I'll be one on the forefront for that. If you read the Jersey Journal today, and you should, and buy the Jersey Journal, I get it every morning. If we do not buy this paper, which I question the business plan of the Jersey Journal, because I don't really need to buy the Jersey Journal. I can read everything on my smartphone. Everything that's in that paper is on my smartphone in the morning. But yet I still go out and I buy the Jersey Journal at KJ's. I get a few papers, the Post, the Daily News, the Record, the Star Ledger, the Jersey Journal. And Joni's got a column in there. But I don't understand how the Jersey Journal is going to continue to make money because everything on the web is free. But the Newhouse family is far more successful than I am, so they're the ones that own the Jersey Journal. Joan Quigley's got a story in there today about the Department of Labor coming out of the feds that will allow employers to keep tips. Once the server, the waitress, reaches the minimum wage in Jersey, it's $8.44 an hour. And the employer, I love this, they get to keep the tips to do whatever they want. You know, renovate the restaurant, go on vacation, give themselves a raise. Now, it's not a case where they take the tips and they're going to pool them and they split it up at the end of the day with the waiters and the server and the bartender and the cashiers and, you know, whoever else is involved. I remember years ago at Rita and Joe's, and by the way, Rita and Joe's, I think, is closing the end of this month, and we're losing a great restaurant there. But, you know, Mike passed on about 10, 12 years ago. Joe passed on, I think, about 5 years ago, and Rita passed on a couple of years ago. So all I was left was Isabel, and it's probably a lot of work, and Isabel's probably thinking, I can go back to Brazil. I don't have to put up with this. Let me sell all the property. But I remember Mike, at the end of the shift, he would have all the money, and he'd go counting up and start giving it out to all the servers and the cooks and the bartenders, and they pooled it all, and everybody got a cut of the pie. The waitresses or waiters didn't get to keep it. That's not going to be the case anymore. And from an employer standpoint, now, I guess if you get to keep the money, you don't mind doing the record keeping. Now, maybe if you have an office staff, we don't have one here at Hudson Media. It's me. I'm the office staff. Last thing I want is any more bookkeeping, because you know what I'm really bad at? Bookkeeping. We got the QuickBooks to keep me on my toes, and we got the accountant who goes into QuickBooks and calls me, I got a question, where's this? That's really not my strong point, doing paperwork and the bookkeeping, but I do it. I wouldn't want to have to manage all the tips from a restaurant standpoint. How do I manage, the keep tips, and how do I know this person's reached the minimum wage? I don't think I'd want that. But if you're in a big enough, you take a Coach House up on Kennedy Boulevard here, borderline of Jersey City. That place actually prints money. I don't know how much. You would have to hire somebody, probably a team of somebodies, just to manage the tips. And the thing is, the employees get to keep it. They passed the plastic bag tax in New York City, and it's 5 cents on each plastic bag. They want you to bring your own canvas bag, which has more disease in there and all sorts of germs from, carrying groceries in it. I'm not a plastic bag guy. I'm a brown paper bag guy, double the bag. I'm not into plastic, but in New York, that 5 cents, the store gets to keep that. Hey, man, that store's going to be pushing them plastic bags on you pretty good. But the only way this makes sense to allow the employers to keep the tips, not pool it or separate it, to disperse amongst the help, and once they achieve the minimum wage, if the feds or the states can tax those tips now. So that's probably the real reason this is going through. And listen, it'll probably be another way. I'm just talking about taxes. It's hard to tax cash. Cash is king. But how many people use cash anymore? You're going to the Coach House, or you're going to whatever restaurant, you're putting it on your card, and you list a tip there. So there is now a paper trail so they can figure out the tips and what the tax is. That's probably why they're moving forward with this, because it's a hell of a lot easier now to figure out the tips, because everything is just written on the receipt. So then now they know the amount of money coming in and how they can tax those tips. And even if you disperse it through the waiters, you can now figure, because the ticket's got the waiter's number on it, so everybody knows how much the waiter's getting, or waitress, if it's on the card. Now, cash is still king, but I'm sure if you have dinner receipts that don't have a tip on it, there's a red flag in there somewhere saying, somebody got a tip. It just doesn't seem like it's the right thing to do, because they don't get minimum wage, so somebody's got to figure out what the minimum wage is. But, you take somebody who tips well. I tip well. Even if the service is so-so, I still tip well. I probably over-tip. But, if you go to the same restaurant a lot, you over-tip, that staff gets to know you. Now, I have a winning personality. I'm sort of a minor celebrity. But the reason these people remember me, because this guy tips well. So we want to make sure he's seated. We take care of his needs at the table. I'll leave the restaurant in Seacork as nameless, but there was a pretty big crowd of people in there. I come walking in, and people had reservations, and they seated me in my party because those hostess waiters, they knew that's the guy that always leaves us a really good tip. So while there were some people grumbling, I got to sit down and have dinner with friends and family because I tip well. But I'm not tipping well for the guy that owns the restaurant. I'm tipping well for that waiter who takes care of me. And that's the whole thing. You tip because the waiter took care of you, whether it's serving your food, making sure you get your water, drinks, whatever the case is, or getting you seated. Well, like I said, if you're a regular and you tip well, you're going to get better service than everyone else. I'm not leaving that 25% or more in some cases, especially if it's like a gang of people, like going back to Rita and Joe's. There are a lot of people involved in Rita and Joe's, so that would be a place I'd really overtip because I know they're dispersing that. Same thing if you go to some of these places where they got the water guy, they got the pastry guy, they got the server, they got the hostess in front. If the food's good and the service is okay, I'll overtip because I know they're going to. I'm sure they're pooling those tips and they're dispersing it evenly amongst everybody else. But I don't tip big for the owner. I tip big for the service. I know I'm going to get it back. Like I said, when I walked in there and there were a bunch of people waiting to get seated, lots of people. That woman recognized me and said, this way. And I didn't have a reservation, but I'm a good tipper. So I think it's wrong, but I think it's basically probably a tax grab. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org.
We're back. You're watching the Jersey City Show. We're talking about some restaurants here like Tokyo Hibachi in Secaucus. That's a great place to go. I think it's like $23 a head for the buffet. And all you can eat. The food's good there. Another place I tip well, there's a whole gang of people that work there. And you get all the ice cream you want at the end. And it's free. You can go up and get as much ice cream as you want. The only problem with Tokyo Hibachi when it gets to the ice cream, everything else is great. You got plates, you got seafood, you got sushi, you got all sorts of food. Except for the ice cream. There's a lot of ice cream. There's only 2 scoops. And for as long as we've been going there, they never had more than 2 scoops. So there's always a line because there's only 2 scoops. Now, this place has a lot of, diners. And you just know the people who are watching me, because I like ice cream, and I like a lot of ice cream. They're looking at me like, look at the size of this fat guy over there with his ape-like arms digging into the ice cream, because you got to dig in. They got like big vats of ice cream. Now, if they would just have a few more scoops, I wouldn't have people lined up behind me. And the other trick with Tokyo Hibachi, if you go there, if you're into ice cream now, grab a bigger bowl on your way to the ice cream, because they got these little ice cream bowls there. Oh, that's fools. Grab the bigger bowl. Grab like a soup bowl. That's what I grab as I'm walking by, and I put my ice cream in there. I get the strawberry ice cream. But I just know you can almost hear the people in line waiting for me to get my ice cream. Like, look at this guy and his ape-like arms digging in there. I like ice cream. That's all I can eat. That's all you can eat. But, it's like $20-something, $22, $23 a head. You pay for your first soda, and after that, all the soda's free, too. I drink the Diet Pepsi because I watch my figure. Where are we going? I was talking about waiters and taking their tips. So let's go to the flip side of things, the millionaire's tax. Now, Governor Murphy talked about it today, about putting in a millionaire's tax. Everybody talks about the millionaire's tax. Now, who speaks for the millionaires? Nobody speaks for the rich kid, right? Yeah, millionaires, screw them. They got a lot of money. They can deal with it. But, is it right for the state or the federal government to tax people who went to college, went to graduate school, got their medical degree or their PhD or their MBA, whatever they got, or they went to training to learn a trade as a plumber or a welder, whatever craft, and they put the time in and they made themselves successful, and they've done well for themselves. Is it right we should tax them more because they went out and made themselves successful? I don't think that's right. Again, I'm not a millionaire. I'm maybe a hundredaire. Maybe I got 1,000. Well, I am far from a millionaire. A hundredaire maybe. But these are the people who went to school, and they spent, years in school, in postgraduate or medical schools after that, undergraduate. They put the time in there. They went through years of training to become the professionals they are, whether it's in carpentry or plumbing, whatever the case is. They were the ones that made the investments. They took the gamble and invested, and they may have been successful. If you were investing for the last month, you were successful. If you were investing the last few days, you're not as successful as you were, but you're still okay. These are the people who went out and have been successful in life, and because of that, we feel we should go and tax them more because of their success in their effort to make themselves a success. And that isn't right. It's an attack on being successful. Now, I wish I was successful and made all the steps as some of these people, but they did it. It's almost like a Robin Hood mentality we have. Let's rob from the rich and give to the poor. But is that fair? Is that the American way? Or have we become the Soviet Union? Are we socialists now? That's not how this country is put together. It's a capitalist society we have. These people paid their dues. Like I said, whether it's in school or some training or learning to become a carpenter or a plumber or a doctor or a psychiatrist, whatever that case may be, or a Wall Street investor. Now, not all of them are millionaires. Some of them, some of them cash out. It doesn't work out for them. They paid their dues, and they worked their asses off. I hope I can say that on. I can say that on cable. I may have dropped an F-bomb on the Tom's River show, and then I think about it as you were editing that, Michael. I may have dropped an F-bomb in that show, so pay attention. They paid their dues, and they worked hard to get where they are. What right does any government have to penalize them because of the efforts and the success? You raised your kids. You broke your butt to get them through college and whatever schooling afterwards to get whatever degrees or training or crafts or whatever it is. And you see your kids becoming a success, and hopefully they achieve millionaire status. And not exactly millionaires. What we're talking about is like maybe 500,000. You hope your kids achieve that. Then to see whether it's the feds or the local government want to go tax them because their success just isn't fair. And like I said, it's like redistributing people's wealth. Just because they're successful doesn't mean I have to give that money to someone who is less successful, who didn't do the time, didn't go to school, didn't learn a trade, didn't learn a craft, whatever the case is that made these people successful, others didn't. So we're going to penalize them. Like I said, I'm the only one that's actually talking in favor of millionaires. But these are the people that started out in small business. Many of them failed the first 2-3 times. They've gone bankrupt, and they got back on their feet, and they kept working and working, and they reached it. Most successful people started that small business. They built their companies or their corporations or their real estate or their investments or their medical practice, whatever it is. It started small, and they worked its way up. And they achieved this particular level. We should tax them for that. These are the people that create jobs. Now, we run the risk of running these people out. Now, listen, the millionaires who are running these companies, their companies can stay here. They don't have to. They can move to another state, and they can telecommute. The technology's there. They can, if you're going to move, you probably go to a state without income tax. But they don't necessarily have to stay here. That's why it brings me back to what I said earlier. We need to get the house in order, that it isn't constantly grab. Now, listen, I understand it costs money to run these states, and New York is worse than Jersey. But there's got to be another way to do it instead of just going like, you might as well put a mask on and keep going after these people. We need to get the house in order and not have a class warfare, because that person's successful. We should take money from them because this person hasn't been, and we should try to redistribute that income. That's just not American. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back.
Meineke Car Care, conveniently located at 700 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City, half a mile north of County Road. Meineke bumper-to-bumper car care. Brakes, exhaust, oil change, wheel alignments, batteries, CV joints, and so much more. First-rate service at a price you can afford. All major cards accepted. Apply for a Meineke card. Meineke, Jersey City. Stop by and let Sammy check your brakes for free.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. You're watching the Jersey City Show. Watching it live on Comcast 190 live stream. Download the app. Go do it right now as you're listening to me. Download it. Go to your Google Play Store or whatever, iTunes Store, whatever it is on Apple. I don't have Apple. Download it. It's free. We archive all our shows there. You can watch a lot of other productions, not just me. You can watch the New Jersey Lottery on there. They got concerts. They got a bunch of stuff on there. HMG TV shows. If you need to get in touch with me, JC Hudson Media. If you like us on YouTube or Facebook, subscribe. That's what it is. YouTube, you subscribe. You like us on Facebook. I'm looking harder and harder at streaming, because we also are on Cablevision on some of our productions, well, which is now Altice. Terrible. Awful Altice. Comcast is good. At least they try to stay ahead of the technology curve there. Altice, God, terrible. Heights, let's talk some Jersey City. Wouldn't that be unique? We would talk more Jersey City, but I lost my notes. So, Heights Parking Committee. I'm a member of that, and I've been since its inception. I had a meeting last night, and I'm starting to get the feeling that the Heights Parking Committee has lost its way. We should be in the business of creating parking, not some utopia existence. We need to create parking. Now, in May, there's supposed to be an ordinance that is going to sunrise for 24-hour parking enforcement in the Heights, from the Heights to 139, so part of Ward C. Now, there's some question on what is the Heights. Actually, there was a survey that people actually, do you consider yourself a Heights person? The problem with this ordinance is manpower and money. But one of the problems with our Heights Parking Committee is lack of communication with the Ward D council person, Michael Yoon. He should be involved in every step that this Heights Parking Committee takes. He's the one that put the committee together. And there's no communication between the Heights Parking Committee and Michael Yoon. Now, Michael Yoon is doing his due diligence. He's working on this ordinance. He's working on parking. I know he's meeting with the parking enforcement people as to the future of parking in Ward D and in the Heights. And I find out yesterday that the Heights Parking Committee is not communicating with Michael Yoon. So we're not all pulling on the same end of the rope. Now, Mike is looking at parking, and we have some unique situations coming up in the Heights. The Burger King lot development is about to begin on that. That project is going to go. There's going to be residential development, and there'll be a garage involved. Now, will the garage accommodate all the shoppers on Central Avenue and the people get to park there at night now? I sincerely doubt that, because the people who live in the residential complex that's going to be built will also want to park in there. The parking lot across the street from the North Precinct, the development of a new North Precinct is going to be on that lot. So in the Heights, you're losing 2 big parking lots. You don't realize how big that lot is across from the North Precinct. That's a pretty good sized lot. There's where our attention should be. How do we come up with more parking to accommodate all these spots? I'm going to say between Burger King and the lot across from the North District, we're probably losing 100 or so spots in the Heights. You don't think that's a little bit, then you're kidding yourselves. I don't know where the parking authority is going to park their equipment. I don't know where the shoppers are or the people in that area who have their permits. Now, pretty much a lot across from the north, you got some meter there, but in the back end, it's all permit parking. You ruin the quality of life for people if they can't come home from work and park. You ruin the quality of life for people if they are prisoners in their home because, well, I can't go out and get a pizza or run down to ShopRite because I'll lose my spot. Now, some people have enough room in front of their house to put a driveway, but we have a moratorium against that. That we should probably go back and visit. At least you should be allowed to park in front of your house. There's a lot of problems here. You know, Michael Youn has identified vacant lots and buildings the city owned that we can make pocket parking lots out of. Now, the Heights Parking Committee, I think it's gotten off its base. In the meeting last night, and one of the things that stood out was somebody behind me is talking about, well, you know, any development, instead of having garages, you should have apartments or retail on the bottom. We don't need any parking because in 10 years, there won't be a need for parking. We'll have all self-driving cars. Well, we're also going to have some flying cars they talk about. But somewhere, the flying car, the self-driving car has to park eventually. You know, there's got to be a place. The utopia existence that the Parking Heights Committee members, some of them anyway, are looking for will never occur here in Jersey City. It just stymies what we need to accomplish. We need to park tonight, today. When we get home from work, we would like to park in front of our house or at least within visual of your house. And right now, we can't do that. Now, do we need zone parking? Yes. The ordinance that's in place is for 24-hour enforcement. We can't afford the 24-hour enforcement. First off, parking enforcement can't cover that nut. Secondly, you just can't have parking enforcement. It's not an autonomous agency anymore. It's not the Jersey City Parking Authority. It's Jersey City Parking Enforcement. It is a department. It just can't have enforcement in one part of the city 24 hours and not the other wards. You know, somebody calls from Ward E saying, well, you know, there's somebody too close to the corner, or there's somebody blocking a fire hydrant or a driveway, or somebody's in the handicap spot. You can't call the parking enforcement. They say, well, you know, we only do 24-hour enforcement in the Heights. After 10 o'clock, you're on your own. No, you can't have that. So one of the problems, Jim Shea, the head of public safety that parking enforcement is under, is how do you do this? Where do we get the manpower? Where do we get the money to cover the manpower? And how do we do this citywide, that we become 24/6? Yeah, I don't know what happens on Sunday. It's like the purge occurs. On Sunday, you can do anything you want in Jersey City. We're closed. Everything's closed. I think Jersey City is getting to the point where we should probably be open and should be enforcement on Sunday. But the ordinance that's going to, well, it's not going to sunrise in May. I sincerely doubt that from talking to people because of the 24-hour aspect of it. You just can't have 24-hour enforcement in one section of the city and not in all the other wards. So that's one of the problems with it. Now, I think what we can do is we can adjust that and get parking enforcement to do enforcement up to, say, 11 o'clock. So really, if you're not in your house by 11, now this is, again, the zone parking, you have to have your parking permit. If you're not home by 11, you're pretty much on your own then. Most of us are home by 11 o'clock. Maybe on the weekends you're out later. But for the most part, you're home by 11. So we can get enforcement to 11 p.m. You want to stretch it to midnight, fine. We could probably extend that. But I don't think we want to go past that because then we got to hire a lot of people. But we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back.
Pen and Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen and Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue in Jersey City. Your local collision specialist. Body and fender repair. On-site oven-baked paintwork. Fiberglass repair experts. Custom and classic car restoration. All insurance is welcome. 24-hour towing available. Licensed by the state of New Jersey. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue, 201-222-3050. Plaza Auto Body, your bumper-to-bumper buddy.
We're back, and yes, I'm still drinking this terrible coffee now. I'm tough. We'll drink it. Getting back to the Heights Committee, I think we lost our focus. We got some of the, there was a survey they did. Let's put some of these up. I wish the fonts were bigger. We would have done more. Here are some of the questions that the Heights Parking Committee sent out in the survey. Now, this covers two wards, Ward C and D, up into the Journal Square area. So between D, well, actually 139. Some people consider that the Journal Square area. Between D and that part of C, you're probably looking at about 80,000 residents, maybe more. The Heights is pretty dense. Do you consider yourself a resident of the Heights? If you live in the Heights, you should. But this is one of the pertinent questions that were asked. What's our next one? A lot of these we couldn't do. What is your biggest concern in the Heights? Now, do we really need to do a survey of 369 people said? What is that? Family Feud does that, right? Steve Harvey. I'm getting like Steve Harvey. I'm hosting 3 shows and got the Shore Show coming pretty soon. I'll be hosting 4 shows. What do you think anybody who lives in the Heights said the biggest problem in the Heights is? Number 1, survey says 43.99%, let's round it up to 44%, parking. We need to create parking today. Tonight, not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now, not next year from now. Today, people want to park. What is the second one? Let me try my other glasses. That's why I said I wish these fonts would have been bigger so we can scan them in better. What is your second biggest concern? Far away from top. Demolition of old houses. Now, you see, that's more of a zoning issue than a parking issue. But what happens with the demolition of the older houses, a driveway appears, a garage appears. And as it stands now, we have a moratorium on you putting in a garage in your existing home. But if you knock it down, you could put a driveway in. That's not right. I have the same property rights as that next person who knocked down the house. So if he can put a driveway in, I can put a driveway in. Probably the best thing to do zoning-wise, and I don't know if it's legal, to say whatever is pre-existing on that property, if there's a garage there, you got a garage. If there's a driveway there, you got a driveway. If there isn't, you ain't got one. And that would change a few things. I don't know if it's legal because you're entitled to property rights. For that matter, there's a young lady from zoning who was getting caught in the crossfire a little bit. She was saying once a house reaches the age of 150 years old, you really got to jump through some hoops to demolish that and build a new one. And I was thinking, my house just made 150. Now, we thought about it, and I said, no, let's just do some renovations, clean this, because, Tom DeGeese knocked his down to build a new house, and we were thinking about doing the same thing. If you got the property already, you can probably get a nice new house built for around about $180,000. The number 3 problem according to the Heights Parking Committee, is the construction and design of new houses. Well, for some reason they call them Bayonne box. They're cookie cutters. Number 4 was the subdivision of lots to create two-family homes. Now, all this is good, but this is more of a zoning issue than it is parking. So we need to be creating parking. Now, in this survey, is there enough trees on your street? You know, there's too many illegal driveways. Well, they weren't really illegal until 2001, 2002. We got off the tracks here, and that's one of the problems that we have. You know, the responses that we have, you know, what is your biggest concern in the Heights? Like I said, is parking. We need to get back to what the committee Michael Youn founded, was to create parking. You know, it isn't a case where we're trying to create this utopia that's not going to exist probably in my lifetime. City bike, you know, people are talking about, well, can we get more city bikes? City bike isn't the answer. For that matter, City Bike is trying to get subsidies from Jersey City to continue. There's a reason why City Bike didn't make it in Bayonne, because they wanted money from Bayonne. So there's a little hidden secret there. City Bike would like to get subsidized. The guy that brought up the self-driving cars, well, self-driving cars are coming, so we're not going to need parking. Well, you got to park them self-driving cars somewhere. If I had a self-driving car, I still have to park it somewhere. But this is the kind of mentality, and listen, I'm not knocking them. You know, they're looking 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. I'm looking tonight. We need to create parking tonight. Getting the committee sidetracked with zoning issues isn't helping the creation of parking. The easiest way to do it right now is to create pocket parking lots where we can take 10 or 16 cars off the street. Take them 16, then we got a spot for another 16. So one park can create 32 spots. That's where we need to be. And it helps the city because we start building our catalog of properties. Recreating the city isn't the answer right now. People want to park tonight. The long game, you know, listen, I appreciate the long game, but the flying cars and self-driving cars, City Bike, you know. City Bike is the 4-speed shift. You know, it's cool when you're a kid, 4-speed, you know, and then you get an automatic transmission when you're older. You know, you're going to ride a bike, usually younger people, people in good shape. You know, the 50, 60-year-old people aren't. They're driving cars. They want to park tonight. We need to create and maintain the parking we have. And that we're off the track on. We need to improve the communication with Michael Youn. You know, when I asked the committee people, have you spoken to Michael Youn? No, he hasn't replied to an email. Did you go to Michael's office? The easiest guy in Jersey City to sit down with is Michael Youn. He lives and operates in a big fishbowl on the corner of Bowers and Central. The whole damn thing is wide open glass. You can see, look, there's Mike. You can't help but find Mike. You can call Mike, but no, there's no communication there. Now, I put a call in Mary at the Parking Authority. I want to find out if people are communicating to her. Did anybody make an appointment? Sit down, because that's what we want to see, the Parking Authority's budget or parking enforcement's budget. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be creating parking. How do we create parking? Now, one of the things I'm going to reach out to is to get Jim Shea on the show for next Tuesday and ask him some of these questions with these ordinances. What we need to do, and like I said, people want to park tonight. So I'm going to start my own block association, and I'm going to meet in Michael Youn's office on Bowers and Central. So when we come back from commercial, we're going to talk about that a little bit. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I'll be right back.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. Jersey City Show. Pat O'Melia, you there? I'm here. We're doing it live. Like I said, we started the Block Association. We were going to meet at a church on Congress and Passaic, but after last night's meeting and talking to some of the other people in the room, I think it makes more sense to have the FAST Block Association. FAST? What is FAST? June Spinello. I don't know if you remember Junie. She was a Jersey City gal. She was as tough as it came. Junie would Shunla, Glenn Cunningham, Jerry McCann, it didn't make a difference. Junie was all about Jersey City and her block, and she started and founded the FAST Block Association. Junie's been gone now, I say at least 10 years. In my years of being a civic warrior, of the people I've come across, the Benny McNamara's of the world, and of course June always stood out. She took no guff from anybody, and she never wanted anything for herself. It was strictly her neighborhood, her neighbors, and her city. So when June passed on, her block association, disappeared. So I'm bringing it back, and we'll make sure Junie's name on there. June Spinello. We're going to meet in Mike's office. I asked Mike this morning, I called him to find out about communication. Did anybody ever go up and sit in your office, Mike, and discuss what's going on with the Jersey City Parking Committee? And of course, nobody did. And when I asked this at last night's meeting, I said, well, does anybody go see Mike? Do you talk to Mike? He's right up here. And they would start talking about, well, I got a regular job, I got kids, I got to maintain my car, I got to organize my socks, all these things. Everybody had a reason why they don't talk to him. Probably a lot to do with politics here. But we don't have the time for that because Mike is doing parking business and the parking committee is supposed to be doing parking business. We're not doing any of that. So we're going to do my block association. Well, mine will be a citywide. I'll concentrate on the Heights. That's my home ward. But if you got a problem anywhere else, between the association and my television shows and the streaming and these cameras, we can get a lot of issues taken care of. My group, I don't want to meet every month. I think it's a real imposition. I don't know if I need to meet every month to talk about the same issues all the time. For that matter, if I got to meet every month and talk about the same friggin' issues, then I didn't do the job of running a block association or a civic association, whatever you want to call it. There'll be no dues, by the way. There'll be no dues. If I can't have a meeting every 6 weeks, and by the time we meet again in 6 weeks, that I didn't take care of those problems that came up, or I don't have a damn good excuse as to why, then I failed. So we'll put it together. We'll start promoting it here. I'll get the press releases out, that sort of thing. If you have, like I say in the show, if you have a problem in Jersey City, if you have a problem in the county, join the association, the FAST Block Association, and we'll get the information out. We'll start putting things on the screen here. One of the things, I'm going to be a Heights-based. I'm going to work on trying to create parking. Now, Michael Yunus identified some potential parking. We got to move pretty quick on this because we're going to lose the Burger King lot and a lot across from the North District in the Heights. But, when I'm talking to Denise Ridley or I'm talking to Jimmy Solomon or Myra in Ward B, they all have the same problem. So together we can probably come up with a solution. Now, the same thing down in the Marion section on West Side, there's places they can create pocket parking lots. They're very similar to the Heights. We were talking about parking problem and zoning in last night's meeting. We had the young lady from the city hall there. She was talking about, a lot of the problems we have in the Heights don't pertain to downtown. Well, yeah, downtown's a bunch of high-rises and brownstones. It's like when we do the Christmas decoration contest, best Christmas decorated home contest. Not a lot down in Ward D because it's hard to decorate a brownstone. It's hard to decorate a high-rise. There aren't a lot of 1- and 2-family homes down there, as there are in the Heights or in Ward B. Once you get out of Ward E, the downtown area, you start getting into 1- and 2-family homes. Up in the Lafayette, you got a lot of big apartment buildings. The uniqueness to the parking situation in Heights isn't that unique. We have it all over the city. We have to come up with a way to deal with this. Now, I'm looking at creating parking, and we need to do it rather quickly. Now, again, I'm not knocking the people who want to play the long game, who want to change how the city is built or whatever the zoning is. You know, that's fine. You want to change zoning issues, deal with the zoning board. We're trying to create parking. Now, we want to stop the cookie cutters from being built. That's a zoning issue. I need to create parking. I need to maintain the parking I have now. Now, can we talk to the mayor and say, listen, can we stop these people from having driveways? I don't know if you can. People are entitled to property rights. So we got to find a different avenue to create parking. And again, what I say is needed in the Heights, it can easily be in Ward B, easily in Ward C. And listen, you talk to Richie Borgiano, you talk to Denise Ridley, she's A, Myra in B. Yeah, the same thing. We're all the same problems. So we got to figure another solution. And anybody who turns around and, well, first of all, anybody who points to Hoboken as a solution is automatically not in the conversation. Worst parking situation and car situation in New Jersey is Hoboken. We're Jersey City people. We drive. You know who doesn't drive? These people who come from New York. But the funny thing is, when you look at, say, Cast Iron Lofts on Jersey Avenue, down there by 18th and Jersey Avenue, that was built, and it says Soho, so soon, so near, blah, blah. Those are all people from New York, allegedly, that moved there. I don't know what the residencies are, how many people came over from Brooklyn or what have you. If you go down by Cast Iron Lofts, you will see a sea of cars. There are cars parked all over where a couple of years ago those streets were pretty much empty when it was an industrial area. So now it's full of cars. Cars going up. Hoboken Avenue behind Christ Hospital. But how can that be possible? These people who moved here don't want cars. Of course they want cars. They want to drive. You want to go food shopping. You want to go to the movies. You want to take a ride down the shore. You want to run the Rite Aid. Whatever you want to do, you need a car. Now, I'm not knocking the people with bikes. City bike, you know, want to take a bike, fine. I don't understand why you would get city bike anyway. Just buy your own bike and save a lot of money. But, you know, that's really for the young people. But Jersey City, we are car people. For that matter, there was a question this morning on Light FM. It was the question of the day, and it's like a little survey thing they do. And they asked the question, married men would rather be with this instead of their significant other, or men would rather be with this than their significant other. And people say, well, they'd rather be playing video games. It was automotives, cars. They'd rather be with the cars. We are car people. You know, Jersey City people have always been car people. And we have to realize that. And when people tell you that, you know, the people moving here, they don't want cars. Well, go down and look at all the new developments and look at the streets around those new developments. Packed with cars. Now, one of the guys last night was complaining. He's looking to move. And they wanted like $150 a month to park his car in his new location. He goes, that's ridiculous. No, really, that isn't ridiculous. Because, you know, you rent a garage up in the Heights, it's $200, and believe me, I know. Parking is a huge issue here in Jersey City. We need to get the zoning in the Heights. Actually, we should get zoning all over the city. And I do have a problem with, if I live downtown, I can't park in the Heights, or vice versa. That I always had a problem with. But, you know, that's for another show. But we'll tell you about the Fast Block Association. I hope you'll join, and we'll try to get things taken care of. I'm done. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you Thursday on the Hudson County Show. Good night.